who messed it up with an amazing girlfriend or wife. How is your life now? Story 1. She was perfect for me, but long distance got to me and I broke it off because I had low self-esteem. Life is fine. I miss her a lot. We could still be together and have had 2 years of being together. I had thought I fell out of love with her, but I was just in my own head and didn't try to make us happy, caught in a bad routine. Life is fine and getting better since I've been working on myself a lot. I miss the cute things she did, making little crafts for me, just being there, didn't require much to be content. I just didn't have patience at the time and now I'm alone. I'm happy I can love and be loved and that I've learned from my mistake. Life goes on, I have hope. I hope she's happy and knows I'm trying hard. Story 2. We were together for 5 years. I know that my needs were not fully met, but I feel like if we went to therapy and we would work on out schemes earlier in the relationship, we would have been perfect for each other. I miss the long and meaningful talks. I think I took her for granted. It's terminating me inside that I know she will find another man who's going to treat her like I should have. The worst part about it is that I can't do anything. Since she fell out of love, she put me on a pedestal, she loved me unconditionally, and I couldn't handle her love language. Mine is physical touch, intimacy. Hers is affection and showing love in the little things. She left me 2 months ago. She started talking to other dudes while we were in the same apartment still. I moved into this city because of her, and 2 months of living together was enough for her to make the decision and leave me. The fact that I can't even lift weights because of my hernia is not helping either. I try to get my frustration out, but it's a temporary relief. I have some problems with my gut too. I have to take some medication for it, and it's been like this since the summer. I lost weight and started smoking. I felt really bad before the breakup because of these things, but now I don't really know what to do. I feel lost. I feel like she just kicked me while I was down. I was weak and couldn't be the man she needed. I realize so many men and women suffer like I do. So many broken people, it's making me sad. I hope we can just get through this. We have to. One positive aspect is that I see my schemes and want to just be better. But it's hard when you're suffering. I hope we can find our peace. Take care, everyone. Story 3. I'm doing much better now, but sometimes still it is easy to fall into a coma of missing her and praying she'll one day reach out. I'm sorry, babe. Wish I could do it over again. Story 4. She's literally all I think about. Deleted all my other social media so I wouldn't be reminded. Accepted it's not going to happen in the future, but man. Story 5. Former guy. If I see anyone who resembles her or even sounds like her, it terminates me on the inside to know my own hubris and self-destructive choices threw it all away. Now I sit alone without her. Story 6. Horrible. I don't think I'll ever find someone as precious, sweet, and loving. She's with a doctor now. New car, new dog, new man, new house. Don't take a woman for granted, y'all. Story 7. I still dream about her. When I wake up, I just want to immerse myself in the dream again. I hate myself for what I did to her. And one day I might forgive myself. She was the one. Story 8. I'm still with my wife and I think I lost her. Most of the time I just try to act like I'm okay, but I know I messed it up with an amazing person. I'm a shell of who I used to be, so I understand her not being attracted to me. The person I was is just gone. Life goes on, as they say. Story 9. I messed it up by leaving. Was young, had anxiety issues. A great relationship with someone who truly loved me was terrifying. It drove me crazy. My life is okay. In regards to her, I'm over the moon for her. Our breakup was amicable. We stayed friends. She married her best friend who loves her like she loved me. Haven't spoken to them in years, but both were doing well last time we did. They got a house and dog. It was everything I could hope she'd have. I've yet to meet another soul that gleamed as much as hers did. Story 10. It's been almost 7 years now for me, and it's been all right. That's a lie. It's been terrible despite doing well in other aspects in life. Basically, I fell a bit ill and was in a really bad headspace. Lost a lot of interest, including my feelings for her, and decided to call it off because I felt bad not able to reciprocate her feelings. As much as I want to reach out, she left and joined the military and seems to be doing well. I'm sure a lot has changed since then, since we were a lot younger when we dated. I feel like I had my chance and I really don't want to trouble her any further. Occasionally, I'll have dreams that felt pretty real about us getting back together or just us having casual conversations, haha. Maybe in an alternate universe. So yeah, you heard it, folks. Make sure you treasure your loved ones and communicate. There's likely more than one solution, and if you ever get bored, there's always the future to look forward to. The possibilities are endless. I regret not able to do a lot of things with and for her, like traveling together or going to her place to just spend time with her. Story 11. So much stuff reminds me of her. We enjoyed so much together and introduced each other to so much new stuff that I'm just reminded almost daily how much I messed up by losing her. Story 12. It still hurts on occasion. Something will happen that reminds me of her, but I have also fallen in love again and have had terrific relationships after her. Life is chaotic and messy. Appreciate the good things in your life while you have them. Story 13. I think of her every day, learning to give myself grace and to take it as a learning experience. Never cheated, but will always regret lying to her, and that's what put the nail in the coffin. Rather, it was to avoid embarrassment or my own mental health, and how was I really doing. I wasn't 100% truthful, and it's hard to open up about those things. For allowing yourself to be vulnerable and completely open up scared the absolute nonsense out of me. The past couple of holidays have been rough, and all I could think about is how I was supposed to be where she is and open presents together by the fireplace. The plans we made that are now no longer a possibility. Laying in bed thinking about who she's now sharing those beautiful moments with, or who's she's talking to on the phone during long drives. When she's in need of a friend. Not being able to sleep, it's hard not to think about, and doing my best to keep my head busy, but, like I said, learning to give myself grace but also feel like I deserve to feel this regret. We could talk for hours and knew that after the first date. I work next to the coffee shop we first met at, and it's hard driving by there with memories of how it all started. The spot we sat at, the first kiss in the park. All I can do is take everything I learned from her and create a better version of myself. The one she deserved. It's crazy how, when you're moving on and you start hitting milestones after you finally take their advice and you want to share those accomplishments with them. They are the first person you think of when you have good news to share, even when you're no longer talking. Hearing her words come out of my mouth when I'm explaining something to someone, one or my kid. Keeping a word of the day app on my phone because I miss learning new words from her and can no longer raise my hand during our conversations and laugh about it. I got her this emerald necklace that was meant to be left behind in a small jewelry box. I got her during my last visit and still wear it as a reminder to do better and follow through with what I say I'm going to do. Words are only words and actions speak louder. That was something I lacked and regret it. I'm sure she knows how much I regret it, and she deserves the absolute best. I let my thoughts get the best of me and destroyed something so beautiful that I don't think I'm going to experience again in this lifetime. I am lucky, though, to have even met her and to be in something so great with some people don't ever get to experience that. She's the best human I know and hope she knows that because of her, I am becoming a better person, and if we ever cross paths again, I will have made her proud. Story 14. It is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not a weakness. That is life. Every relationship I've had since hasn't been even half as good, and thus they rarely last long. It's hard to maintain interest in them anymore, but I'm still quite young, so hopefully I'll have a second chance. Story 15. Sorry if this is not well put together because I am medicating on alcohol right now and have the last 4 years. I messed up big time. We met just after high school and were together almost 25 years. She was my soulmate, and she would do almost anything for me. When I touched her, it was as if we connected and I could feel the love flow between us. I could never stop touching or holding her for this reason. It seemed like we would just melt together whether we were holding hands watching a movie or even in the bedroom. Close relationship was amazing. It felt like we melted together and she never turned me down. Unfortunately, we were brought up in different lifestyles. My mother was a clean, bad person, to the point of where we got in trouble for leaving a water ring on the table. I sort of became that way. Not as bad, but I liked things clean and organized. She was brought up in a cluttered, dirty home. She had a very loving mother, something I never had. But her mother never bothered too much to keep the house clean. Total opposite of my mother. When we did get married, she seemed to help keep things clean. But it got worse over time. The only way I could get her out of the TV and help clean was to basically do it myself and hope she would join in. It didn't have to be perfect, but at least the clean laundry wasn't just thrown on the couch to be left forever. After 5 years of this, I became more vocal about it and felt bad after I blew my top. Nothing physical, just verbally. It seemed like I go off about once a week because I got a new job and was working a lot of hours on salary and didn't have much time to try to have a clean, organized house. I felt like all she did was watch TV sitting on the couch like her mother. But still, when we crawled in bed together, it seemed like we became one again. By around 12 years or so, I just gave up on harping about it. I pretty much had my own office that I could keep clean and organized and spend a lot of time in there dialed into work and working from home. Yes, I ended up working my life away too. But that is another story. On the weekends, I still would do the guilt trip thing to get her to help. I would mow the lawn in the morning, take a shower, and start to clean the house without saying anything. She would join in, and eventually we would have the place fairly clean by the afternoon. I always did my own laundry because I didn't like them wrinkled from sitting on the couch. Anyway, I think I got the point across by now. That was the only bad thing about our marriage. We always had fun together and always enjoyed each other's company, and still, after 20 years, I couldn't keep my hands off because I just felt so connected touching her. Anyway, around 24 years of being married, I met another woman. She was an actor, and acted like she really cared about me and keeping her place clean and organized, like I wished my place was. Due to me working a lot of hours, she could act those few hours we were together, and I ended up leaving my wife. It turned out the new woman was a narcissist and eventually groomed me to her benefit. I know this is getting long, so I will try to keep the rest of the story short. I ended up being her slave and walking on eggshells, and I never ever had the same connection with her as I did my first wife. After 10 years and the second time she cheated on me, I decided to get out of the situation. I never knew she was a narcissist until I talked to a coworker and they told me I was still beating myself up for doing something wrong to make her cheat on me. He said, look up what a narcissist is. I looked it up and she had every checkmark defining what a narcissist was. It's a good thing I looked it up because she has tried numerous times in the past 4 years to try to suck me back in. So now I sit in an apartment all alone. It is nice and tidy. I don't have friends because we moved away and my second wife wouldn't allow it. I am 62 and really don't know if I really want friends or even know how to make friends any. I am now a video game addict, and an hour before bedtime I drink myself to sleep. Then wake up and go to work and repeat the day. I still miss my first wife's connection, but I also remember the frustration of having a house that, if left unattended, would have been a good story on the TV show Hoarders. Story 16. It's been several years. I'm in a much better place than I was when I was with her. She had nothing to do with me being at a low point in my life. She tried to help. Story 17. Life is very good. I moved on but never let go, if that makes sense, but I'm trying my best to do so. It's been almost a decade. It still hurts a little, sometimes a lot. She's having a baby now. I'm happy for her. I'm happy with my life, the happiest I've ever been with myself, so it goes. Story 18. It's been over 20 years since I screwed up with the love of my life and a textbook case of a guy who takes his awesome girl for granted until it's too late. I'm not proud to admit this, but other than perhaps a few days during my dad's ICU stay before he passed, there hasn't been a day where she hasn't entered my thoughts. The part that cuts the deepest is that she has basically hated me since the last time we spoke. Story 19. I can't really enter a relationship anymore because everything would be a downgrade compared to her, and I messed it up. Story 20. Miserable, of course. I haven't had a single moment without anxiety in years. I can't romantically connect with anyone. I'm growing old. I'll probably never have a family. Story 21. The amount of regret I hold over my own head is absolutely suffocating. It hurts to see that she so effortlessly moved on, got married, and had a child with someone else. I genuinely believe, though, that I deserve these feelings and this stagnation. I had it all, and I let it go. My loneliness is my own doing, and I'll never forgive myself. Story 22. We're still friends and see each other at least once a week when we're picking up, dropping off the girls to our respective houses. She's found a wonderful new significant other that makes her happy. I'm happy for her, but it terminates me knowing that I could never make her that happy and that I'll probably never have anything like that of my own. Story 23. Not great. It's been 2 years she had CPTSD and her father passed during our relationship. Would isolate and vanish a lot. Lots of blocking out of nowhere and unblocking, etc. I never got mean or anything. She was a sweet girl and didn't deserve her trauma. And she deserved someone who was there for her. I wanted to be that person, but it was hard. About a year out, I was just tired. My little sister went missing and she had suddenly blocked me again. I was alone and under a lot of duress and reached out under a false identity, and she found out I admitted to it and was immediately blocked on everything again, but this time for good. I've been in therapy now for a year and started antidepressants about 4 weeks ago. I miss her every day and feel so much shame and regret. I tried to apologize, but I'm still blocked, and her friend told me she doesn't even want her to mention her to me. That was about 4 months ago. Story 24. Nearly 10 years ago, I failed to be present after I lost my sister too, and I lost the love of my life as well by pushing her away. I regretted it every day for 8 years. As of 2 years ago, I mustered up the courage to get into contact with her again. And as of last month, we are engaged. I honestly couldn't be happier. I would have never met a woman as amazing for me as her. Everyone paled in comparison to her over the years, and I'm so happy I was able to pony up and reach out to her again. I kept telling myself she must hate my guts, but I was just going in on myself relentlessly when I finally saw her again. She looked at me that same way, and I knew that love was still there. Story 25. I went to therapy, focused on myself for a bit, and found out another amazing girlfriend that I am still with, because I learned from my mistakes. Also, I still bump onto this ex occasionally, and we're cool now. It wasn't easy, but I believe it's critical to put all that self-hate and regrets into something constructive. Story 26. I am awake at 4:30 a.m. because I got tired of laying in bed stuck with memories of her and the knowledge that they'll never happen again. Story 27. Honestly, after 5+ years of depression and pining, it helped me to change things about myself that needed changing. I learned that actions have consequences, even if you love each other intensely. I'm now happily married to someone else with a beautiful family. Just make it one more day. Find little happinesses. It's cliche, but time heals. Story 28. Every person you meet in life has something amazing about them. You are just focusing on the bad in people, that's why you think you blew it. If the split happened because of your own careless mistakes, it was never written in the stars. Rather, move on and focus on growth than thinking about something that was never meant to be. Story 29. Use it as a catalyst for change. You now know what's possible. Be the person she would have stayed with because there are people that compatible, and you just need to find them. Don't just go to the gym or disregard females and focus on currency, meme it up. You liked her? What the fudge did she want? What was she into? How do you get more of that in your life? And if you don't want that cow, you realize you actually weren't compatible and she was just right. You need a different type. Story 30. Absolute loneliness. I was young and partying a lot and felt like I wasn't ready to settle down just yet. Now, 26 years later, after a string of absolute horror show relationships and single mothers with extreme baggage, I've been single for 3 years. We all know how trash dating is now, but I can't even get dates anyway. I give up. Meanwhile, she has been married to the guy she got with right after the breakup this entire time. Moral of the story: if you find an amazing woman, lock that cow down, treat her like a queen, and never let her go. Story 31. I thought I'd messed it up with an amazing wife. She helped me be a responsible adult. She made me laugh sometimes, but I wouldn't go to church with her and wouldn't obsess over church stuff like she did. So there was apparently no way it could ever work. I thought I'd screwed up my one chance until I met my current wife. And she is actually caring and actually loves me, unconditionally. And while I may feel I don't deserve such a person in my life, she tells me I'm wrong, and she has been my light for 18 years now. Story 32. Doing better than ever before. Making the most money I've made in my life. Have done a lot of inner work. Quit drinking. Found hobbies. Got a couple new friends. In the best shape of my life. Still single, no girlfriend, but I don't care. Life is good. I wouldn't be the man I am today without the lessons I learned from that relationship. Story 33. I'm doing great. I realized I had made a huge mistake, but a few years later I was able to win her back. We basically started over from scratch. She's my best friend and the love of my life, and I was very lucky to have her accept me back. Story 34. I am kinda too late for this, but I just want to say to my fellow dudes that the fact that you have never felt the things you have for that one ex for anyone else after your breakup is not because no one else is like her. It is because you will never be 18 to 22 again, or whatever your age was when you felt that pure love. Just like no one is like her, you are not the same person anymore. You have grown different. She was probably not special. It was fascinating because you have felt it for the first time.